Hit the subscribe, please.
Please.
Please, just do it. Just hit the subscribe, please.
I want $100 million.
Please. Oh, please. I would love so much money from you subscribing. Not that you'd be paying any, because it doesn't cost any.
Shout out Serbia, bro.
Yeah, for real. Shout out Serbia.
That'd be fine. I will do a trip. Maybe we'll be on it together. Just like a Eastern European fucking extravaganza.
That would be sick. I would love to see Eastern Europe one day. That'd be super cool.
I think it'd be awesome. I'd love to get deep into Romania and just fucking party my ass off.
Yeah, that would be so sick.
North Macedonia. I feel like they'd fucking love me. They'd love us over there.
Maybe. Yeah, you never know.
What is it? Goran Pandev or something? Is that their big guy, Northern Macedonia? With some of those guys, if you were able to bring up something like that and they were into soccer,
yeah, that's true. Especially being from America, it's like, how do you?
Yeah, I need to go to Georgia. That's where I really need to go. Kivishka! I'll just go with the main like fucking city center and just go Kivishka Kvarskaya! And just like let those Georgians flock to me.
Mama Philly!
Mama Philly! Just watch them fucking flock to me.
Just everybody, no way!
Holy shit.
Philly.
Bro knows ball like crazy.
Alright, should we start this frickin' video?
Let's get it going. Let's just get a fucking plain hamburger and a water and let's just get rolling.
Is that how you view J. Cole music? Is plain hamburger and a water?
The J. Cole memes. You haven't seen those? Like what J. Cole orders at McDonald's? It's like a plain hamburger and a water cup.
No, I haven't seen that.
That always cracks me out.
That's funny.
It's like what's J. Cole's got to order at a restaurant? Plain
French
burger.
fries, unsalted.
Yeah. Oh man, I've had a couple people. Like getting fries with no sauce is crazy to me. It's just think about it, bro.
Oh yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point. Speaking of thinking about things deeply.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
Sure.
Yeah. Welcome back to another episode of Awfully Sus. This one was pretty highly anticipated. As
in the country.
Exactly. We are two Kendrick fans. Have been for our entire lives, even before the beef. So, it was pretty easy that we were going to side with Kendrick when that all occurred. Yep, Kendrick poster right there.
Sorry if I make you sick.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's necessary. Like, we've been there, Kendrick fans, the whole time.
Yeah.
But, like, for me at least, and I know probably for you a little bit too, like, I used to be super into J. Cole.
Yeah, bro. I remember 6th or 7th grade, or maybe 8th grade. I remember we both used to listen to Forest Hills Drive on the bus to, like, basketball games, like, GOMD, like, all the time. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really like J. Cole. I've always liked J. Cole. I listened to this in chronological order, except for the mixtapes that he just put on. I listened to those 3 last. But, like, yeah, it was cool to see his journey and, like, where I kind of went with him on the journey as well.
Right.
Like, listening-wise. And, like, there was definitely a point where he kind of turned, like, a little corny, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would agree.
Like there's definitely a point.
Yeah, what we did for this video is Ethan and I went back as Kendrick fans and prior J. Cole fans, and we listened to every single J. Cole album, including his mixtapes and including the Dreamville stuff.
That's 12 total.
Yeah, 12 total albums. We did an absolute deep dive on J. Cole.
I listened to 6 today.
Yeah, I listened to 2.5 today. Just
Crazy.
To see if our Kendrick glazing is warranted or if we've become clouded by our Kendrick J. Cole judgment, just to see where we're at now. And we're ranking J. Cole's discography. But yeah, you're right. Like, seeing where, like, my journey began and ended with J. Cole was interesting. Like, I didn't listen to Born Sinner all the way throughout, but that was kind of my intro to J. Cole, was, like, freaking the songs on that. Yeah, Power Trip. Like all of those got me into J. Cole, and then, of course, 2014 Forest Hills Drive. And really liked For Your Eyes Only, like, especially Neighbors. I bumped that song so much as a kid.
That's
when
right.
Neighbors came out.
You showed me that song, and then I bumped it as a kid too.
Yeah, and what else? I was super excited for KOD when that came out. I was a big KOD fan.
I listen to KOD a lot.
Yeah, and then I don't know where it started to fall off, but it fell off just enough to where when the Kendrick J. Cole stuff happened, I was like, oh, I'm easily Team Kendrick.
Yeah, I think actually KOD is kind of where it started to become. I just think there was a time where he was like anti-feature and kind of braggadocious about it, and then that like kind of talking about addiction in this album in such a cool way, and then like dissing Little Pump. It was just like, all right, like what are we doing? And I just
Yeah,
think
that's
that was kind of a corny era for J. Cole, and I think it kind of ended with the off season. I think when he made the off season, it kind of ended the corniness to a certain extent.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I actually am very proud of myself for how I went into this process. I don't know. I had really like didn't. I don't know. I should be like this is saint level shit on my own. Just how well I cleared my head to like get rid of any prior bias towards J. Cole. I really just gotta. I set everything aside and listened to all of it and took it in, and I thought, I don't know, I didn't. I thought it was very. It made it a lot more enjoyable. It was a cool experience.
Definitely,
and I think it made me like J. Cole a lot more by doing that. Definitely some corniness to it. Also, like his earlier shit, he just is like, it's kind of crazy how like different he is. I don't know. He just talks about like fucking a lot, pretty much, just like pretty much the whole album. Like I don't know, like, and he's not really known as that guy like at all. It's at least anymore. And it seems like back in the day he kind of was like not like NLE Choppa level or something like that, but like I don't know, definitely in that realm of the world, kind of just by what his topics were. I don't know.
Definitely in his mixtape era, and even like with his debut album too. I don't know. I'm blanking on all the albums right now. The frickin' Cold World, The Sideline Story. Yeah, even with that.
Oh yeah,
he was still in his like, can I hit it in the morning bag, and it's like.
I don't like that song. And it's on 2 projects. I was listening to what else was it on? I put that in my notes. I was like, and we hitting it in the morning again, dude. Let's go. I'm so glad we're back. I hate that fucking song. Holy shit.
It's so funny. Yeah, but yeah, I was listening to that and I was cringing so hard. But no, yeah, you're right. Because I did the same thing. I was like, I'm not going to be biased at all going through this because I used to love J. Cole.
Yeah, right.
Like back in the day, I used to love J. Cole, so I was like, I'm like excited to listen to everything and like actually see his whole discography, and like I was pretty impressed by the mixtapes, honestly. But I mean, we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get there.
But
yeah, it's also on Friday Night Lights. It's also on Friday Night Lights. And I was like, I don't know, for some reason it didn't clock for me when I was going through Friday Night Lights. I was also playing Champ, so I don't know if I was really like, but I just was like, oh, Drake feature. Then I started hearing it again, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me, bro?
Can I hit it in the morning?
Can I hit it in the morning?
Yeah, that had to be the cringiest moment throughout the entire listening for me, I think.
Yeah, probably up there for me, too. I liked the mixtapes because it felt like I was in like a college radio station almost. That was like the vibes he was giving, and it was cool. And that's why I wore some Carolina shit, some Charleston shit for this video, because J. Cole's all Carolina. This is Southern Carolina. I think they call it South Carolina, not North Carolina. That's where he's from, but that's where Charleston is, in the southern part of it. But yeah, just showing my Carolina love, you know. J. Cole Carolina love.
I think they call that Southern Carolina.
Something to the south there, but shall we start with our rankings? Number 12, the worst of the worst, the shittiest stinker of 12 albums. Where are we at with it?
So yeah, what I did for mine was I ranked him 12 to 1, and I also gave him like tier list rankings as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just start with mine. What I wrote for my bottom one, because I took notes. I was listening to this and I took notes on all of them.
I did too.
Okay, so my bottom, my least favorite, worst in my opinion, J. Cole album is Might Delete Later.
Ooh, fair.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a controversial opinion among fans, but I don't know. Yes, was there some bias in this one? Yeah, there was, but I think it's like reasonably so because I just feel like the album was a capsule for the Kendrick disc, and then once he took it out, it just kind of ended up being a shell of an album really containing nothing. And I don't know. Like in his earlier mixtapes, like you can see him like trying to work out his flows and how he does stuff, and it's not really all there. And then you get to this album, which is his most recent one, and it feels like he's right back in that. Like his flows just feel lazy throughout this album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It just was kind of a nothing album to me. Like some of the beats were cool, like the production's obviously there.
Yeah, that was like one of the only like saving graces for that album, in my opinion, is the modern production.
Definitely.
That was like one of the only good things about that album, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like when the whole album is kind of carried by the beats. Like J. Cole wasn't talking about really anything interesting or new too in the album. Like I don't know. I have points in my list where I'm like J. Cole's talking about like what he usually talks about, like his more introspective stuff, but he's doing it at like a peak in some points. In this album, he's not doing it even close to a peak. Like it's just lazy for me.
It was lazy. He didn't really have many strong performances. I wrote down a couple notes for it too. Like he like briefly mentioned how he overcame addiction, and then that was it at all, and like nothing important like ever happened again on the album. I put Rick and Morty sunglasses emoji, and then I put officially entering my prime sunglasses emoji. Like, I was like, can we get cornier? Like, Rick and Morty, I was just kind of goofing with him. But the bars where he's like, who would have thought at my age I'm now officially in my prime? And, like, who announces their prime? Like, I don't know. It just was corny.
You announce your prime when you're past your prime.
Yeah, pretty.
And
like, M's, yeah.
Yeah, and that's just how I feel about this album. The highlight for me was Meat Canyon being sampled in this, and I don't even know if J. Cole had a say in that. So, I don't know. This is the one F tier album for me.
Yeah. The NFR boys, they say Trade the Truth and Abuse is like a 10 out of 10 song, one of the best songs of the year. And I was going through this album, that's the last song, and I was like, and Hunting Wabbits is like really the only one with some replay value because J. Cole kind of goes hard on it. And Meat Canyon's on there, and we like Meat Canyon, but like that's kind of tough for that to be the reason for it to have replay value.
Exactly.
And then Trade the Truth and Abuse, it's just boring. It's not very good. Like none of the songs have much. Sticks and Stones was okay. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. It's just a bad album. And it was a capsule it was just throwaways, like for the 7-minute drill. And I think he texted Central C like a few days before the album dropped to do a verse. So clearly like wasn't much time taken to make it. So
yeah, all of that too is why I have it at my bottom album.
Yeah, it's fair. I thought about it. For my bottom album, I just had to do this. I put the Come Up. It was bad. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
There were times it was truly unlistenable. Like there was just like I don't know, his mic. He would like cut. He would have like a DJ come on and like literally plug his MySpace, and then it would like the transition from the MySpace plug to J. Cole rapping was terrible. Like it's just like there was just too many choppy transitions between different random kind of things going on, and then just like at times like some terrible like the mic just sounded like bad for like him or someone else, and like or the mixing was awful, or just like it had these like loud like just like horns in the back, or like there was one it was just like it was like a cowbell like constantly, like I think it was just something, it was just like banging at something for the whole song, and it was like this is stressing me the fuck out, man. like I don't know. I said there's some good moments, but did you listen to the T-Plane skit too? Like yeah. I don't know. I was like I don't even I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, the one redeemable thing about how bad the production was, for me at least, I was like, oh, I could make this. I could be J. Cole. Because it's literally just him like hopping on beats that have already existed. And just rapping probably on like, I don't know, the mic that he had attached to his 2008 computer, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that doesn't make it good, but that just makes it
relatable.
Yeah,
Good. It was cool, but it just like That's what it was for me. It just sounded too bad, and I just like wasn't. I don't think I'll ever really go back to it for
No,
that reason.
no, I won't either. I'll get into it in a couple picks because it isn't my next worst one for me.
Okay, what is it?
Well, my next worst one is the warm up. I thought Dead Presidents and Grown Simba were pretty good. I really liked the boom bap cuts on this, like I don't know, I just like those kind of beats where it's like hard metal drums for a hip hop beat. I don't know, like stuff that Logic was trying to do, like in 2014, 2016.
Those they were reminding me of Logic as well. It was kind of like notes of Logic and Mac Miller at times. I don't know. That's what I was getting. But also, like, I don't know. He just sounded so different at times as well because the mic was like so shit, or I don't even know.
Yeah,
it's just like,
definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, the thing that put this album so low for me, like even beneath the come up, was I don't know. It was just like such a monotone album for me. Like it just feels like he's still learning his flows, and he doesn't really switch it up too much throughout the album. And the beats, even though some of them are like pretty good, like I did enjoy a lot of the beats on the album.
There's the potato salad beats out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like how they're all boom bap and like some early 2010s like R&B and rap stuff, but that's kind of all it is. And I don't know, the little variation that it provides just kind of makes the album drag like a lot longer than its runtime, which like for J. Cole having a lot of albums with super long runtimes is impressive.
Yeah.
Impressively not good. So this is my 11th ranked album for him, and I have it at a D tier on a tier list ranking.
For my 11, I think this will probably make some people mad, but I'm gonna do Cole World, The Sideline Story as my 11th.
What's gonna happen to the J. Cole fans?
Sorry. I just didn't think there was too much that was good about this thing. It was fun. It was like a nostalgic kick. Like, it was cool because I thought it was like nostalgic. But like at the same time, it was, I don't know. I think that there's cool nostalgia with the mixtapes. Like, it was already like 2012 when he dropped that, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was 2012.
Like, Yeezus dropped the next year. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't think he was very ahead of the times with this album, even at the time, like at all.
No, I don't think so either.
I guess you think the same thing. That it's just like,
no, yeah. I just thought that like with it being his first studio album, I just don't think he had a lot of say in it, maybe because it was just a lot of like, I don't know, product of the like couple of years before where he was just kind of trying to do like what was hot with like, I don't know, just like mostly R&B rap fusion stuff. And it's just like, I don't know, like it's a cool like time capsule thing to go back to. But other than that, it's like, it's not providing anything new at all. Like you were saying, like how Yeezus comes out the next year after that. And it's like J. Cole is doing something that's more just reflective of the years past in his debut album.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the replay is not great for me. And like, I don't know. I put like most of the songs, like it's fine. Some of it's a bit corny. They feel very 2012, 2011, which isn't a bad thing. But like, I don't know. I thought the Jay-Z song was actually like pretty bad.
Yeah, same. Actually,
like the Missy Elliott song was pretty good. It was okay. I gave this album like a 6.5. I said, does it wow me? No. Is it fun? At times. Is it a good listen? Is it good rapping? Is it a good vibe? Yes, and good nostalgic vibes. So I guess it has some value, but it's not for me, and I don't really like that nostalgia anyways. I don't really like that era of music too much anyways.
Yeah,
and I don't know. Some of the content too is just kind of corny and annoying, so it wasn't for me.
Yeah, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's very few songs from the R&B rap early 2010s fusion era that I like. But yeah, it's just like J. Cole getting into this bag wasn't really for him, but I don't know, that's how he got his start. So you got to start somewhere.
That's true.
But yeah, for me, my number 10 is the come up. I put the come up here. Yeah, I just put like, you can't really fault him for the bad production because it's probably like what he had in the budget at the time, honestly. Like, and that doesn't mean that it's okay that it's bad. Like it's still like not super
don't want to listen
listenable.
to it 15 years later.
Exactly. Much. Yeah. But the one thing that is redeemable about it is like he sounds hungry on this, which I think is like awesome, you know? Like
No,
he sounds like he has
yeah,
something to prove, even though it's over potato mic. It's like he has something to prove, and he has that raw talent too, which
definitely.
I think bumps it up a little bit for me. Like
Yeah, yeah.
the one the song that I didn't really like was School Days, because it sounded like he was just trying to make Wet Dreams like the song before he had the storytelling like
Yeah, I
kind
felt
of
like there were a
nailed down.
couple like that. It was just like pre Wet Dreams, Wet Dreams. It was just
Right.
like, all right, Jay.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I get what you're trying to do, but like let's wait until we can actually do it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Dollar in a Dream and Simba were like really good songs on here, I thought.
I thought Rags to Riches was good,
Rex to
actually.
Riches was pretty good too.
Carolina on My Mind was one of the worst songs I think I heard on like the. I said that that was the one I think that it was like the banging and I was like turning the shit off, bro.
Yeah, I must have just
Like,
tuned that one out.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. I put it at my 10, not like at the bottom too, just because I felt like he had something to prove in this, and like the energy you could feel the energy in it, which I thought was cool.
hmm
So yeah, I have it at my number 10, and I'd have it like in between a D and C tier, like pushing C tier.
fair.
It would be C tier if it was more listenable, but you know,
Yeah,
that's just what it is.
exactly. And at my 10, thoroughly disappointed. We are with Might Delete Later. Like, Jesus Christ. That's another thing that kind of maybe has not ruined, but kind of a reason why, like, people, I guess, haven't, didn't go with J. Cole as he went on. Because I don't think he has progressed as much. Like, I was thinking about this in regard to both Kendrick and J. Cole now. It's like, Kendrick, I mean, I don't know, it pisses me off if people are calling him corny now. I don't know, like in his most successful time. And
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't know, whatever. But I just think he has so much swag now. And GNX had a ton of swag to it. It was a peak of his career in a unique way. And he, people were loving that album, giving it 9s out of 10s when it's just like not even like what he does. Like,
Yeah,
like a not very serious album. And he does a great job. He just knows. He just seems like he understands where the lane is moving a lot better than, and because maybe he is like the lane, like he is kind of pushing at the forefront of
true.
like pushing hip hop to where it needs to go. And
Yeah,
I
that's a good
always have
point.
kind of felt like J. Cole has kind of rode his coattails in a sense, and like kind of rode like he makes so many Kanye references. He literally steals like so many Kanye bars like straight up
Mm,
throughout all this music, and I mean he does the Devil in a New Dress beat like. I don't know. It's just like he just doesn't like Forest Hills Drive. He definitely is in his own bag. Like that was his year. Like he might have been the number one rapper that year. But after
yeah,
that, it's like what happened, bro? Like I don't know. It's like it just never really he never really took that again. And like I don't know. That just like Mike Lee later he drops it like it came out this year and it's just 10 on your career. It's that low. You put it at 12 on your career list. It's just
hmm
kind of like man, that's tough. I don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, it's just we've already talked a lot about it, but like yeah, just not a lot of good moments really
It's
at
just
all.
his vultures too moment.
It's so weak. It's just so
Yeah, it might be
half-assed.
worse than vultures, honestly.
Vultures is just Kanye at his craziest. It's just I'm trying to fuck, yeah, like just like I don't know. At
Yeah,
least like I don't. I think Vultures is better definitely than Might Delete Later. Like I'm not
yeah,
even gonna lie. Yeah, and the Cameron feature that was he. I was just like, what is
yeah.
happening
That
right
was
now?
weird and bad.
I thought the Absol song would be all right, and that song was terrible. Like I don't know. 3001, I literally like was trying to listen to it, and nothing really even stuck with me. Like I don't
Yeah,
know. It's just like just not very good music. So sorry to go after him with that album, but it's like I think it's kind of fair because I think a lot of that's another thing why I think we have kind of gone away from J. Cole because like his fans are just they're worse Glazers than anyone like in my opinion. I don't know, sorry. That might be a little intense. But like now people are like calling Kendrick corny because he like bing bop boom bop bam like he says that shit but it's like J. Cole will drop this shit and you'll defend it like it's really good when it's just not very good at all because it's J. Cole and he makes you kind of think that he's like a lot better than he is.
yeah.
I
But
don't know.
at least in that album, like I don't
Yeah.
think that speaks for his entire career, but at least in that album, like the
Yeah.
defense of that album is unwarranted. There shouldn't be
That's
any
what I'm
defense of
saying.
it.
Yeah, I'm not saying for his whole career, but with this album, this is his most recent moment. It's just like, bro, Like, come on.
Yeah.
Bad. That was bad. He can recover, but like, not a great look, not a great moment.
Yeah, definitely not. All right, you ready to move into the single digits?
Yes, I am.
All right. So for my number 9, I had Friday Night Lights. So this did contain probably the most cringeworthy moment with the Drake song that we talked about is in
Yeah.
two
Doubled
projects.
down on it.
Doubled down on the "can I hit it in the morning?" That's terrible. That is terrible. But aside from, I don't know. Aside from that, I mean, Blow Up, I really didn't like Blow Up either. But aside from those 2 songs, I thought it was like, like I said before, it's really more of a product of the time than it was a product of J. Cole. I don't know how much like he actually had in Friday Night Lights, because I don't know. I thought Villamatic was pretty sick. Like J. Cole did do pretty well on the Devil in a New Dress beat, so I thought that was like pretty entertaining. The hook on Enchanted too was like one of my favorite moments in this. It was really good. So there's definitely some highlights in Friday Night Lights, but
yeah,
I
like
know.
the Wale song a lot actually.
Yeah, the Wale song wasn't bad. But, it just still has some of the early mixtape drawbacks, especially as J. Cole's trying to fit more into like the sound of the time rather than honestly rapping like he was in his earlier mixtapes, which I feel like would have made for a more engaging album. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I have that at my 9, somewhere around C tier. It definitely has some highlights. It's definitely has its moments. So
yeah, I would agree. I looked up a couple lists, and one list had that at their 2, and one list had it as their 1.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I was like, damn, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean there's some highlights on that for sure. So, but but I don't think 2 or 1 range. But
no, I don't think so. At my 9, I have D-Day, the second Dreamville album that is out on streaming. Yeah, disappointing one for sure. I also have kind of a couple of things to say. I don't want to just keep rambling about how shitty this stuff is, but I don't know. I'll get to it. I love the first Dreamville project, or I guess it's the third. I don't know. I've never seen anything of the first.
I don't think there is a first 2.
Okay, I don't know why they named it the third then.
Yeah, me either. But
weird.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a first 2.
Either way, the D-Day one thing I have to say is, two main points. Stick, love Stick. Great intro, such a fun song. We used to listen to that song. That was a big pregame song for us in college. 2, what makes the first Dreamville album so good, I think, is like the unique collaborations, just like so many people in like alternative kind of like underrated hip hop, not underground but like underrated, like Suno, Ski Mask, Saba, just to name a few. And then like a lot of the Dreamville acts are like really cool and they work really well together. In the second one, the D-Day one, J. Cole is on Stick and then he's never on a song with anybody again. He's just on solo ones. And it's like really cool label project when your main guy is on one song with people. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. Boz and Ferg, like, kind of is good. It's just, like, really choppy. And they don't have... I don't know how good of, like, chemistry they have. Yeah. I think it's funny when 2 Chainz is on it. They just... DJ Drama calls him Tit. And he's like, come on, Tit. And then he starts his verse. And he tries to do... 2 Chainz... I've never heard 2 Chainz rap like that. It's like... Yeet-esque, like Lud Tyler almost. Like, I don't even know what he's doing on there. Like, I don't know. I just think, I don't know. Kenny Mason kills it on Stick, too. I said how much I love the career of Sheck West. It's just, like, funny, his career. But yeah, just, like, a lot. Like, it was a bit of a snoozer. And, like, a lot of the songs after, it just, like, Stick happens, and then it's just, like, you get to the end and it's like, wow.
Yeah,
like, what even happened?
Yeah. What happened in this album?
I don't know. It just like, yeah. That's all I'm going to say about it. It's my 9. Sure.
Yeah, this is a What Happened album.
There's a lot to unpack with it, I think. But yeah, it's just, we'll leave it there.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, for my 8, I have Cold World, The Sideline Story.
Cold World.
I thought Lights Please was great. I thought he was like, that's showing flashes of J. Cole getting into his like prime storytelling bag, which I thought was cool. You know what I thought was interesting was Lost Ones. It was like the most surprising song because it's like a less polished version of Hey Jane. With
I was
like
thinking that too, yeah.
with like the multiple perspectives of dealing with an abortion, even though like Cole's delivery and this is like more brash and like less educated. Really,
Yeah, that's why I didn't like it as much. I was
yeah,
like,
it's more of a product of the times in that situation as well. But it is like really emotionally charged, which does like make it hit harder, even though it's like less articulate. Really, I don't know. I still thought it was cool that he was like trying to mess around with that, even though it like didn't really work out. But you know, at least he was messing around with it. Like still, I think that's him honing his storytelling on a public stage that works out good because you're like, okay, he's like working on something and he has potential to be the storytelling like dude that he is in some of his later work. Dollar and a Dream 3 is like, I don't know, I thought it was like really grand for this album and he's rapping crazy on it. Workout is obviously a classic. You can't knock Workout. Even when I was listening to it, I was like, is this really as good as it was? And then it still is. It's still good.
it is a good song.
Then the Jay-Z one, like you said, it's like kind of weird because I just feel like J. Cole is trying way too hard on the song because Jay-Z's on it. That's like the vibe that I got from it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the thing that puts it at 8 for me and not higher is that the production is kind of boring because, you know, product of the time, whatever. I just think it didn't age fantastically. Like, it's kind of boring to listen to in 2025. But, you know, still some great moments on it. So I have it at 8 and that a C tier as well. So
yeah, I don't know. I think Sideline Story was my favorite song off that album.
Yeah.
I like that song. But yeah, I just don't think I'll ever go back to that shit. Really.
Yeah, I probably won't either.
My 8 was Friday Night Lights. Yeah, I really don't have much to say about it. It didn't really wow me too much. I enjoyed it. Like, I think we had a lot of the same like moments that we enjoyed with that album. There were some great moments in the album.
Yeah,
I really liked the Wale song. Really liked the Devil in a New Dress beat. I mean, it was really cool listening to everything because he uses a ton of like classic hip hop beats throughout the whole like his whole discography, and it's pretty cool that he does that. It reminded me a little bit of Nostalgia Ultra with Frank, like just like saying, fuck it, let me do an Eagle song. Like, it's just like, that's pretty cool. But the one thing I will say, kind of once again hating on him, is he comes second a lot of the time.
With the features?
When he does another, like he takes someone's beat and does his own version of it. Like,
I see,
he never,
on instrumentals, yeah.
Yeah, he just does it, like, even A Tale of Two Cities and Black Friday. I like Kendrick's Black Friday better. Like, Unborn Sinner, Land of the Snakes, that's Outkast beat. I mean, the Outkast song is way better. The Art of Storytelling Part 1, that's a way better song in my opinion. So, I don't know, it's just like... But I don't think that's the point, really. I don't know, like, he's like, this song's so fucking good, I'm gonna do my own version of it. It
does seem more like him appreciating it than trying to one-up it most of the time.
Yeah, the Black Friday thing I think is a little different, but every other version is just like he just loves the song. It probably was what it is, and just said, "Fuck it, I'm doing my own thing."
Yeah, that is what it seems like.
But either way, Friday Night Lights 8, hell yeah,
nice, that's good.
Give that one probably C tier.
All right, into number 7. This is where D-Day lands for me.
Yeah.
In my notes, I just wrote Stick. Then the rest of the album is okay. That's what I wrote. It's like it's not unlistenable. Like it has good energy, but you're right. It's just like, I don't know, something's missing from all of it. Like it doesn't really have anything too captivating. And you're right. I didn't like even really notice until you said that J. Cole's only on his own solo songs besides Stick.
Yeah, like why? Like I don't get it.
Yeah, like on a Mob Cut, it's like he should be doing songs with the rest of the people in his label, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I don't know. Like it's not unlistenable. Like it still has fun moments. So I have it at 7. C tier for me, middle of the road. But you know, yeah, that's really all I have to say about that.
It's fair. My 7 was actually The Warm Up. I actually kind of enjoyed this mixtape. Right. I think I listened to it after the Come Up, and the Come Up sounded so bad that like this afterwards, I was like, this sounds a lot better. There was a lot less on the Warm Up, in my opinion, of like, this just sounds terrible. Like mic or mixing or production. Like, I didn't think that was really the case too often on there. I think there still were some like moments where it was kind of a lull, but to me there's like some really good highs on there. I liked Dead Presidents 2, Grown Simba. I really liked Can I Live, and I really liked the warm up Knock Knock because that's the beat of Potato Salad, one of my favorite songs ever with Rocky and Tyler. So I was like kind of really fucking with the mixtape. Like I don't know. I was like, after listening to it, I was like, that'll probably be my favorite of the three for sure, and it was. So and I was cooking on Champs while I was listening to the warm up, so it just put me in a good mood. So
yeah, that always helps boost the rankings.
Yeah, so fuck yeah.
Nice. J freaking Cole. I'm excited to like actually give him some praise. Even as a Kendrick Glazer, I'm excited to like get into the albums that I liked.
That's it, yeah. Because I mean, there's 12, so like, and a lot of them like are early on and like not the greatest. Like Kendrick's early work isn't my favorite either. So like,
yeah, exactly.
You know, like it's been harsh, and now it might be time to give him some love, give him some praise. So
yeah, like as a Kendrick fan, like we can agree that like Overly Dedicated is like it's whatever. Like it's kind of just a whatever project for me. Like there's highlights on it. It's like kind of the same thing as J. Cole, you know?
Exactly.
So for my 6, I have the Off Season. So, and this is where like I start liking albums. I actually did like coming back to the Off Season. I think like the songs with like the low key production and beats really carry. I think when J. Cole gets into like his laid back vibe on this album, I think it's cool. I think it's like
I do too.
I think it's pretty sick. I think if he would have stuck with that and done like some more like even like more sinister beats and like getting into that like laid back vibe and Might Delete Later, I think it would have sounded a lot better. Like, because I think those kind of songs on this project are really good. Amari, great. Like, Oh My Hand, great. Punching the Clock, great. Like that's just when this album is at its best, when J. Cole's like getting into that bag. The one song that did kind of annoy me was Pride is the Devil. I just thought it was like whatever, like Little Baby. It's just like,
terrified, paranoid, I put you over everything. I always love that song. I can't lie.
Yeah, that's
I always
fair.
really like that song.
I don't know. I just thought it was like too grand for the rest of like in the confines of the album. I thought it was like too much for the rest of it. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely like this album a lot more coming back to it. Although it's like not the most captivating like storytelling or beats or anything, it does what it does really well. And that's why I have it at my 6. It's like C tier pushing B tier. I think there's a lot of good moments on this. So yeah.
For my 6, I put KOD. I know you like it. I've listened to it a lot. I listened to it a lot back in the day. One problem I always had with KOD is I never ATM and Motivate, which like I think were 2 kind of attempted hits on the album. Never liked them. I don't think they're very good songs, and I don't think they're very good like catchy tunes. And I think like it's kind of ironic because he's kind of making fun of the time with like mumble rap, but then he's just like motivate, move. I don't know. It's just like I don't know. Yeah. I really like the Cutoff. I really like Window Pane. I think like the deeper like Friends. Those are all like really good songs. Kevin's Heart is like one of J. Cole's better songs ever, and it's like a huge. It's like one of his better like I don't know. I could. That song's honestly like growing on me in a weird way when it was like one of my number 1 songs of the year it came out. Like it was in my top 5, I think, and like obviously I've shelved it because I listened to it a lot back then. But now I hear it, I'm like, man, that is such a good song. I think it's funny that 1985 is the intro to the Fall Off. And it came out in 2018, and we
we're still waiting.
I don't know. J. Cole, it's like, I don't know. This is also the thing that maybe is the case. Kendrick is like, everything is planned out. Like, there's certain artists that's just like, everything's planned out. Everything is like, just, there's no mistakes with it. J. Cole, I think, is less... He's more kind of like we are, and like just I think he might be just kind of like a laid back dude, and like his mixtapes kind of reminded of where we are with Awfully Sus. Even he's just like, hey, I love this shit. I want to rap. I'm not great at it right now, but I'm gonna do it because I want to do this anyways.
I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah. It's like this is the warm up because I'm straight up fucking warming up. You know, like I don't know, and I was like, it's fair, brother. Like, because I don't know, like I mean, when you start something, you know, it's like it's not like you're gonna, we're not all Victor Wembanyama,
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't know. Maybe that is the kind of truth in him having. I don't know. I also think he's kind of extending it because the Fall Off is supposed to be his final album, and I don't really think he wants to hang it up just yet. So
Yeah, doesn't.
And he doesn't have to. Like, you don't have to fucking retire, J. Cole. Like, that's why I think Might Delete Later also just makes me mad because we know he can make great music, and it's just kind of, I don't know. For him to put that out, it's just like, bro, come on. Like, you can make a lot better music than this. And KOD, The Message is fantastic. I love that. And I think he hasn't touched upon that enough in his music. He has an album about addiction, but I think he needs to talk about it more. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my piece. Because I think it's super cool that he has overcome that. But I think there's still more to talk about with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think so too.
Maybe that's not even for me to say. I don't know
why. Yeah, true. I don't know why he hasn't. Yeah, you're right. But yeah I don't know why he hasn't gone back to it because, that's one of my favorite parts about that album is the theme of it. All right, let's get into our top fives, our big fives.
Our big five, the top five of J. Cole's discography.
All right, so at my number 5, I have Born Sinner.
Okay.
I think Power Trip is one of J. Cole's best songs, even though that was the song that did get me into it, so there is a lot of nostalgia there. I think it's awesome.
Really is.
And She Knows is up there for him as well. I just think the highlights on this album are insane. Like, I think from here up, J. Cole is undoubtedly one of the best rappers of the 2010s. And he does have, like, the albums to prove it. Are there some, like, weird moments in them? Sure. But I don't know. I thought this album was awesome. Like, the Illuminati, the production on that, so good. So good.
Mm-hmm.
Forbidden Fruit, Crooked Smile, all of those songs are like either A to S tier J. Cole songs for me, honestly. And like the filler songs on this album are like strictly filler. Like they're not really, the lows don't really go too low on Born Sinner for me. Like on, I don't know, on the whatever songs I was either zoning out or like on the great songs I was like super locked in. So it's like, I don't know. I thought there's like super good highlights on this album and it didn't really, the floor was like pretty high. So yeah, then the production's like really solid on a lot of the songs, I thought. So yeah, overall this album's great. I have it B tier pushing A tier. Yeah, that's where I have Born Sinner.
Yeah, I also put Born Sinner at 5. I think this kind of does begin the stretch of saying good things about J. Cole because we are getting to some like really good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're totally right with like Power Trip. It is a big song, but it is like super fucking good.
Yeah, deserving of that.
Like, I said that in my notes. I was thinking, I don't know if I actually wrote it down, but I was like, Power Trip and Forbidden Fruit, like, how I got into, like, that was some early J. Cole I remember listening to for the first time. And, like, it's just, like, indisputable classics, like, no matter what.
Up,
like, 2 of his best songs. There's a lot of great moments on this album. Yeah, Illuminati, I think there's some shock factor to Born Sinner that we haven't really seen before, I guess. I don't know. He just does talk about a lot of shit. But here it was kind of like, I don't know. But it was like 2013, so I guess you kind of got to have some leeway. But like, hearing it now, like, it's just like, it's kind of like Goblin when we did the Chromacopia. Like, he lets, like, the F slur go and Illuminati, and it's just like, all right, bro. Like, in Goblin, it's like, I'm not going to go back and listen to this shit really too much because I don't really want to because it's just, it's too old and it's not my thing. I noticed he said, ran that shit like Diddy at one point in the album. But he also brings up Diddy in the off-season, which I will get to later. Okay. And it's crazy. And I just want to say this. I was thinking this before, because I knew I was going to talk about it. I don't like talking about the Diddy situation at all because I just find it so disgusting. Like, yeah, it's just so huge. And like this, I think J. Cole like offers some pretty crazy insight on the off season, which I don't know. I do want to talk about, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
So don't click off. Yeah, I said Power Trip is peak early J. Cole. I think Mo Money is fire. I think he doesn't get enough credit as a singer, and this album shows that. Like, he is a better singer than I think he like is known for, and he sings a lot. Like earlier on, he sings a lot. He sings a lot of like he just sings a lot throughout his whole career, and like I don't know. Maybe on Mind to Lead Later he kind of went away from that. He doesn't sing a ton, but I don't know. Chaining Day is great. I think some of the solo cuts, were a little bit of a drag. But then I think I said New York Times ends the drag. Like, I think that song with 50 was cool. Yeah, I thought the ending was Sparks Fly was one of the weaker songs, which sucked because I think this album would have been like, if it would have had a like fitting ending and like it that kind of brought it together in a cohesive way, I think this would have made this album a lot better. But this ending is just like, here's Sparks Fly with Janae, and it's just like kind of sucks. I don't know. It's just like, why is that the ending of an hour and 18 long album, J. Cole?
Right,
It's like you have a shitty ending to a long album. I don't know, but I still give this like an 8, almost 8.5 kind of territory. It's like a B-A album for me. This is a good album. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, good album, very good album. Let's see, what do I have next for number 4? Okay, I have Revenge of the Dreamers 3 at number 4 for my fourth album. Sacrifices with Earth Gang is one of my favorite like J. Cole moments listening through his entire discography. That verse is so money. Like that's like maybe one of his best verses in his career, straight up.
Yeah.
Like it just his flow, and they get into the hugging the block all day. That's so good, dude. That's so catchy. Dude. I read that part back like 10 times. Like I listened to that part like 10 times. I was like, okay, I'm finding something good in here. Like I don't know, but this album like altogether is really good. It just has so many great moments, so many great features. Under the Sun's a classic. Down Bad's a classic. Wells Fargo, Costa Rica, 1993. Like it's just packed. It's so packed with good songs. Yeah, even Middle Child, listening to it now sounds a lot better than when it was like force fed to us. You know, like I think that's I think that's a really good song. Yeah, that album's great. That album's an easy A tier for me. Number 4, yeah.
At number 4 is crazy. Wow.
I know, yeah, and like I feel like the production in J. Cole's career, like even though this is on one of the mob cuts, I think it's like peaking kind of in this album. The production's amazing too. Yeah, it's just a fantastic tape all around.
It really is, and at my 4, I haven't gotten to Revenge of the Dreamers yet because at my 4, it is the off season. The off season, I remember when it came out, I was excited. This was when he brought features back, and I remember he didn't list features when it dropped, and I remember listening to My Life and hearing the Murray and 21, and I was like, features are back, J. Cole. Here we go.
This is cinema.
This is cinema. I totally agree with you. I think his slower cuts of this album are really good. I actually had an interesting take, and I think it would have, worked. I think it maybe wouldn't have been a bad idea. I don't love Amari off this album. I think 100 mil is cool because it's like, fuck yeah, J. Cole, you have 100 mil. Of course, that's awesome. I think it kind of falls short a little bit, but I think everything else from I think those, outside of that, from 95 South to Let Go My Hand, that is fantastic. That is like really good shit. And like I think that should have been the tape. I think if that would have been the tape, I think it would be like 9.5 territory. Like that would have been like a really like a pack that would have kind of maybe not defined his career in a sense, but would have been on the higher side. Yeah. For me. Cuz after Let Go My Hand, like Interlude is okay, and the Climb Back Close and Hunger on Hillside all for me like kind of falls short. Mm-hmm. So I don't know, but like 95 South's really good. And yeah, there's a lot of cool moments. Pride is the Devil. It's another situation where there's 2 songs to it. That is also on. Is it Woodlawn, Amine's album, or is that just a song? But I can't remember what that album's called. Or Limbo. On Limbo, Can't Decide. That's the same beat. Mm-hmm. J. Cole gave him that beat. So I think J. Cole did that beat. So, and that's also a situation where I think Amine might have done better. I don't know. But I don't know. Still, great album. Great album. Good stuff. Good stuff. Definitely. I think that is the direction I would have liked to see out of My Delete Later, like in the more modern way of J. Cole, and I think he can improve from that. So I don't know.
Yeah. The one thing, like going back listening through this, is like I don't think J. Cole is like cooked. Like I think he can come back from Might Delete Later. He obviously has the ability to. I think he just needs to like hone in on curating a vibe, especially one that he's able to fit well into, because he can totally do that. So yeah, he should have deleted it. He should have deleted it later. Yeah, but the top 3 albums he should never delete later, and we're on to them. We're on to the top 3.
We're on to the top three.
Listened to a lot of J. Cole music, and a lot of it was good, actually.
Yeah, it was actually pretty decent.
Yeah, pretty decent. And my number three is For Your Eyes Only. So this album, I feel like, is weird in the best way possible. Like this album hit my spot, dude. Like it was tickling my spot listening to it this time through. It was like I don't know. Like this would be. I'm gonna come back to this probably a decent amount now. Like this is something I would listen to still today.
Yeah.
Like the production just feels like so healing in a weird way on this album. Like it's just smooth.
I would agree with that, yeah.
And then the bangers, like Neighbors and Immortal, are like elite J. Cole bangers, I feel like.
I do really like Immortal.
Some of the best bangers he has. Change and Folding Clothes are fantastic cuts from this. Yeah, the only like criticism I have of it is that the outro's like too long, I feel like. Like I don't know. It's like it's cool that J. Cole like tries to do like the 7 to 14 minute outros on some of his albums. And it's like I get it, dude. You're like good at rapping, okay?
Yeah.
Like I get that you can rap for 14 minutes, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. I was still listening to it the whole way through, like the whole 9 minutes, which is a testament to his rapping ability. That I was like listening to what he had to say for 9
We
minutes.
had to. I know. When it was getting long on some of those, I was like, bro.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But we'll get to that later, though, too. Actually.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I don't know. I think that like as you know, being in our Kendrick space before this, like we forget that J. Cole was one of the best rappers of the 2010s, and like he shows why on this album. Like it's just like I don't know, it's just like weird, but it's perfectly weird. I don't know how else to describe it really. She's Mine Part 1 and Part 2 like weren't my favorites either from this, but
Favorite.
I don't know. I just thought they like broke up the album in kind of a weird way. But other than that, I think this album's fantastic. This album's an easy A tier.
Yeah. My 3 is also For Your Eyes Only.
Nice.
I don't love Deja Vu. I do think From the Bell Tolls is kind of boring. I'm not a huge fan of the She's Mine series either. But like I never really bumped Change, and now I think that like could potentially be my favorite J. Cole song.
Yeah.
I love that song now. It's super good. So that's cool. I got that out of this because I think I'm going to listen to that song a lot. Love Neighbors. It's like a personal classic. It's a great album, and it does bring like a unique vibe, kind of up and down kind of vibe, kind of a weird like healing, soothing type of beat selection, kind of. I don't know. Yeah, it's got a unique energy. I think rated it this high because of the highs that it has and because of the replay value, and I think this is an album that you definitely need some revisiting. And I don't know, like KOD, to me, like For Your Eyes Only has the best replay value of like my non-1 and 2. And it's just like shorter and easier to listen to and brings that unique vibe that I enjoy. So
I might have to agree. It might be my like best one for replay value. Like I think I'll be coming back to this one the most. Like I don't know, dude. If he drops something like this for his next album, I would think it'd be fantastic. Like, being able to improve on the production with like, you know, the stuff that we have today and still getting back into that, like, I don't know, like indescribable vibe that J. Cole can rap over is like, I don't know. I think that'd be really cool.
That's kind of where the direction should have went. I feel like.
I think so too.
I think the next album should have been kind of a fusion of For Your Eyes Only, KOD in a little bit of a way, and the off season kind of all together and just thrown into a new album. I don't know. We don't need to continue to just fucking kill him over this album.
No, I know, it's funny. We do our rankings and then we go back to talking about Michael.
It's like that album's dog shit. Too bad he made something terrible.
Yeah, like this was super cool, but remember when he did this last year?
Just recent shit, bro.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you ready for the big two?
1 and 2. Big 2, top 2.
Number 2 for me.
Number 2.
For me, my number 2 is KOD.
It's fair.
Yeah, I love this album. I think the message of this album, like, is like the message holding up today is one of the things that impressed me the most. Like, you know, kids are on drugs more than ever, dude. Like, Galaxy Gas. Kids are hitting dab pens in the school bathroom in middle school. Like, I don't know. And one of the one of the songs off of this album that like weirded me out the most on my first listen through way back in the day, 2018, whenever this came out, was Photograph. I was like, this is like weird. Like, why is he talking about like an internet stalker? And then like looking back at it today, like people are more chronically online than they ever have been. And it's like I don't know, the foresight for this song. And I think the beat on Photograph is super cool as well.
I really like the fell in love through
Mm,
It is kind of haunting.
yeah, it does have some like weird ghostly moments, but yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know. I think J. Cole executed that on Photograph really well. The production on the song KOD is insane too. I love the bass on that. And I thought the intro was so good. Like, I don't know. This album also is like very unique in its vibe. I feel like the intro with the narration and like how it cuts out. It's like a horror intro
Yeah.
for this album, which is like it's super cool. I just love the direction that it takes. Yeah, you're right though. Going back to ATM, I was like, okay, that's enough. I do like Motivate though. I think the production on Motivate's really
Motivate
good.
is better.
Yeah, and then like you said, Kevin's Heart is amazing. One of his best songs. I really like Brackets too. I think Brackets is really good. It's, I don't know, great sonically and storytelling wise. Yeah, I don't know. And then the album ending with the Lil Pump diss. It's like it's whatever, but I also don't think it's like super unwarranted. Like looking
I
at
don't
someone like
either.
Smoke Perp now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It doesn't come off as corny as I thought it would, but it's still like you could have ended it some other way, like stuck to the theme a little bit more. All around, I think this album's really good. I think it aged really well. Like, not as much sonically as lyrically it did, but I don't know. It still has like fantastic beats all throughout it. It's just, yeah, it's honestly like kind of pushing all these top three. It could be kind of interchangeable for me, depending. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I just decided to put KOD at 2. It's A pushing S for me. Honestly, I don't think there's like very many songs in
Wow.
it. ATM 1985 I probably wouldn't come back to as much, but the rest of it I think is fantastic. I think it's a really good album.
It really is. Very creative. I'm glad he did it.
Yeah, same. Yeah, like he's talking about Gooners and Photograph before Gooners were even a thing,
We're cooked. We are cooked.
Yeah.
My number 2 is The Revenge of the Dreamers 3. I don't know how J. Cole fans will feel about that. I don't really care. I do care. I love you, J. Cole fans. And
We do love you, J. Cole fans. Like, yeah,
I love you
are
guys.
we Kendrick fans? Yes, but are we also J. Cole fans at the end of the day? Yeah. Like, we hope for the best for, I mean, at least for me, I hope for the best for.
But yeah, 100%. I think he's a great dude too.
Yeah.
And I think he talks about some things that I totally believe, like some things that are pretty deep, like that he touches on that I totally agree with. I love J. Cole. Definitely has his moments. So does everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you touched on a lot of it, a lot of the like literal classic moments in hip hop on this album. I mean, Sacrifices. I used to listen to this song all the time. One of J. Cole's best moments. I just think the energy that J. Cole brings to this project specifically, he just doesn't really have anywhere else in his career. And that's why I think D-Day falls so short. But it's just like, yeah, he's the head honcho in the label. Everybody knows that. And yet he still like delivers every single time on this album. And he delivers in like a unique way, a new way every single time. He's so good on Under the Sun. He's great on Down Bad. It's such a fun song.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Oh Wow, Swerve is an absolute. I love that song. All these songs are super unique, and like Wells Fargo is so good. Don't Hit Me Right Now is even great. Swivel is even great. Like they do so well on this. Ladies, ladies, ladies. I used to listen to this song all the time. Like I used to listen to this song a lot. I was listening to that before we did this, and it's funny that T.I. just has such a good verse on this album.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Costa Rica, you gotta love it. 1993 is such a good song. I remember it's such a good smoking stoner song. It's just like there's a lot of there's like a lot of basic like smoking songs that you can have. This is a unique one, and it's I think it's hilarious. Like, and now knowing like sort of more of the context, like J. Cole said he didn't smoke weed anymore. He struggled with addiction, and then now he's kind of getting back into smoking a bit. And I think it's hilarious how the other guys are like giving him shit like he doesn't actually smoke. It's really funny out there. And then the song ends with him saying he's gonna smoke and have his pants pulled down on like the freeway. Like it's just like it's just a really fun song. I think it's just like a lot of fun. Vince was one of the highlights on D-Day, and he's also one of the highlights on this one with Rembrandt. Like that, I still listen to that song sometimes. Sunset again, like J. Cole has a song with Young Nudie, and it's like kind of like earlier Young Nudie, and like before he had like some actual like kind of mainstream hits. This is J. Cole with him, and J. Cole kills that verse on Sunset too. Like he's like the man on this project in a way that is like awesome, and I think like genuine to who he is. I don't know. It's just a great project. Totally.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah, the way that, like, I don't know, J. Cole on Revenge of the Dreamers 3, like, this is him at max aura, I feel like.
Yeah,
honestly.
I agree.
Like him coming onto these songs and then delivering with his verses every time, no matter what the vibe is. I think that's great. Like, yeah, that's him at his best. It's just like, oh, what's J. Cole gonna do on this song? And then it's something good, and it's just like, I don't know. I think that really brings the album up, honestly.
Definitely, yeah. It's like, and I do love like Mob Cuts. Like the ASAP Mob albums. I love those. Like, yep. I mean, how can you not love? They're so fun, and I mean, like same thing goes for those. Like, especially on the second one, like Rocky kills it like every single time he's on a song, and like when you are the main guy, the number one most known guy, like that makes it so much better when they are performing well, and J. Cole just really does. Shit, bro.
Good shit, J. Cole.
Shit, bro.
Also, good shit on the number one album that we both have it at our number ones. It's probably not a surprise to most people, but yeah, the number one album for us Kendrick Glazers is 2014 Hills Drive. It's one of the best rap albums of the 2010s. It's probably like top 3, honestly.
It is a classic.
It's just an absolute classic. I don't know. The only songs that on the album that aren't like excellent are Hello and Apparently.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Ooh, Apparently it's one of my favorites, actually.
Really? I just think it's
like that song.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think it's, I don't know, it doesn't really hit the spot for me, but it's still good. It's still good. Like, I'm just saying the songs that aren't like excellent. Like, most of the songs on this album are fantastic. Yeah, I don't know.
Fair.
Not only like does this album have like some of the best songs of J. Cole's career on it, best storytelling, great beats, but it's arranged perfectly in the album. Like, if we're talking about like the best albums, like the arrangement of these songs on the album makes it flow perfectly. Like, this is just an album that you can listen to over and over, and I think that's what makes it so good as well. I think it's his most cohesive album too. I don't know. I just like we could talk about every single song in this, but every single song in this deserves its flowers. Like, Wet Dreams, one of his best storytelling songs, even though it's just like about losing your virginity. It's just like a funny song, and it's like it's still great. GOMD, one of J. Cole's best bangers. I don't know. It's just all fantastic. This album is one of the best rap albums of the 2010s.
Yeah, I mean they are the two hits, but like GOMD, No Role Models, to me are like just peak J. Cole, and like I think he was the number one rapper this year, and this is a classic album. And it is, I think it really just does come down to like him, especially in those two songs. I think it's very apparent just how much he's like, he just experiments for sure on those. He's pushing the genre forward, I think, on this album, and especially those two songs. And he does it in such a unique way that I don't think has really been done like since. I don't know. Like, he's got George Bush on that bitch, and like I don't know.
Yeah, for real, dude.
I don't know. Just the vibe of those two songs to me hasn't really been replicated by anyone really, or by himself at all either. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I think like this is a very like compact record, and like very like I think he's very like diligent with his producing and sampling, and just like his songwriting and rapping, just delivery, just everything is like really like and I think like one of my favorite moments was listening to Note to Self at the end of this. Actually, I really enjoyed Note to Self. Just kind of him just shit talking, and I thought that was the funniest because he definitely tries to be funny in various periods of his like the albums, and like the one where he was like, oh, I know he talked about Jonah Hill, but he was saying Dale Earnhardt Jr. He was like, and shout out Dale Earnhardt Jr., man. I wouldn't have done this without you. And I was like, what the fuck is he talking about right now? And then he was like, and Jonah Hill, when I saw you in the elevator, man. man, when you told me that, and he's like, I'm just playing. I don't even fucking know those guys. And I just was like, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And then he just goes back to thanking everybody. And, like, you could tell how much, like, he and they, who he was working with, had put into making this album. And that was really
100%.
shown with Note to Self. And you could tell it's a classic. And, like, I don't know. So, yeah, I think that is what's, yeah. I don't think there's much to be said that people don't know about this album. This is, like, a pretty widely known album and widely loved. Like, people really love this album. And for the right reasons, and you should. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it is a classic hip hop album. Yeah, when people are gonna look back at 2000s onward, that is gonna be a landmark in hip hop, which is not very many people can say that they've done something like that.
No, not many at all. And it kind of I was thinking, like, when you were talking about him being one of the better rappers of the 2010s, I was like, man, the 2020s are here. And they're always kind of that solidified big three in the 2010s, and now it's kind of, I was just like, it's like the same big three. Like, I don't know. We need some people to drop some, like, really genre-defining shit that, like, haven't yet. Because, I mean, he hadn't prior to doing this, and then he did, and he just cemented himself as, like, one of the bigger artists in hip-hop. So, like...
Yeah, I'm interested to see, honestly, like, what happens to the genre. Like where else can it go? Like, what's going to be the next genre-defining thing,
I don't know, yeah. I think maybe an issue would be, like, some people that should deserve their flowers in the mainstream aren't really getting it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, yeah, like Amine should be way bigger than he is. Like, he should, I don't know. He's so good. He should be way bigger, I think.
Yeah. Same thing with, like, Smino, too. Like, I feel like, I don't know, Smino is bigger. He could, like, make a landmark album, possibly.
Yeah.
I think he definitely has the ability to do so. I think there are people that have the ability to do so, but yeah, I think you're right. I think it might just be an issue with, like, people not getting the exposure they deserve in the hip-hop space.
Because I think it's still so heavily Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole. Like, those are still, like, three biggest household names.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. And, like, Tyler, it's like, yeah, I guess he is hip-hop, but he's just not the same as, like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, he's in, like, a different category.
Yeah, so it's like, I don't know. And, like, I just don't think the torch has been passed, and I think maybe it was attempted to be passed to, like, Lil Baby in a certain kind of sense.
Yeah.
But that just can't happen. No offense, Lil Baby, but sorry, bro.
Yeah, sorry, bro.
Yeah. That's not why we're here. We did it. We listened to all of J. Cole's music.
Yeah, we did it. And, I think we came out of it better people.
Yes, we did.
I think J. Cole taught us a lot of life lessons about how to lose your virginity and to not stalk people online. That's what I learned.
Yes. That's what I learned too.
But no, yeah, that was, we did it. We really did it.
We did it. That's my big takeaways now. I can say I've listened to all of J. Cole's shit.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed, please tell us. If you want us to do this with another artist, comment it. If you fucking comment any artist, maybe we'll listen to their entire discography just if you comment it.
Yeah, for real. If we get a comment saying an artist to listen to, yeah, you're right. Like, if we get one, we might just do it.
If you're here, one single comment, drop that below. We might fuck around. Maybe not Bob Dylan, though, because I scrolled through his, and, like, with the movie, it's out. Yeah. I haven't seen it. But,
I haven't seen it either. I
was like, oh, Bob Dylan. And my uncle really likes Bob Dylan. So I looked through it, and he has just so much fucking music. I was like, this is a full-time job, getting through all this. This would be crazy. So maybe not him, but...
Yeah, there's definitely some artists that people could comment that would be, like, trolls, where we'd have, like, 30 hours of music to listen to.
Gucci Mane, Lil B, I think those guys have, like, 50 albums.
Suck. That would really suck.
Yeah.
Lil B, dude.
I was thinking we should do Young Boy. I think that'd be pretty funny.
That I would be interested, though. I would be interested to see.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Still 2022, by the way. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37 Young Boy albums on streaming. Comment below if you want us to do that.
No.
Don't see that comment anytime soon, because that would be pretty harsh.
Yeah, that should be a punishment for something. What a brutal punishment. That should be like a fantasy football punishment or something, honestly.
Yeah, that should be. That is a fantasy punishment right there. We might have to capsule that one.
Yeah, for real.
Hell yeah. It's been fun.
It has. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it if you made it all the way through the video. Drop a like, drop a subscribe. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.
If you're here, thank you so much.
Yeah, for real. Thank you. Peace.
Bye.